guys, what's going on? I am not alone. I am joined, as you can see, on my right, Echo. On my left, we've got KairosTime. Kairos, Echo, what's going on, guys? Kairos, welcome to the channel, man. How you doing?
So excited to be here. We're going to be talking about some Supercell games, including all of them in development. I think we're going to start with the furthest to go, Project R.I.S.E. Then we'll talk about Boat Game, Clash Mini, kind of, Moko, and then we will be talking about Squad Busters as well, because it's live. We have things to say about it. So I'm excited to be here chatting with some awesome Supercell gamers here.
It has been a hot minute, man, since we spoke to begin with, right? It's just like life happens, right? So it's great to catch up, and who better to have on to give us the rundown on all of these games. I remember reading an Ilka blog post a few years ago, and it was like, I think it was titled, "Are Supercell's Best Days Behind Us?" That was the name of the blog post, right? His yearly blogs. So Ilka Pananan is the CEO, one of the co-founders of Supercell, for those who don't know. And in that blog post, I think that he was talking, it sounded like to me, he was going through a bit of a, you know, I don't want to overstate it, but like really questioning how they do things, and is this the way to scale in the future? And here we are a couple years later, and man, these games, sure, some of them have the same IP, familiar IPs that we're used to, but it really does feel like they've changed their philosophy a few ways at Supercell, which I'm curious, I'm sure we'll touch on throughout this conversation. And this is the end result here, right? I remember for a few years, they were investing in game studios, like a lot, and seemed to be really diversifying in that aspect. And now it seems like they're more in-house again and focused on all of these titles, some of them surprises. So I'm really excited to dive in. Echo, how you doing, man? Which of these games are a number one on your, or do you want to wait till the end on your wish list or your most excited hype list?
I'll share a little bit right now. First of all, I'm excited about this little Dream Squad video we got here. Getting on with you and Kairos is a great one. It's been a long time coming. I'm excited about it. But the game that I'm most probably excited about, which is surprising even to me, is Moko. I got a lot to say about it since it literally just launched a few days ago. I'm sure we all have a lot to say. So, but that's the one I'm most hyped for.
Heck yeah. Well, let's start with Project R.I.S.E. Honestly, this is the one that I personally know the least about, which is maybe a bit embarrassing because I feel like Boat Game hit us absolutely out of nowhere. But I guess, Kairos, let me throw it to you, man. Project R.I.S.E., I thought it was the reincarnation of another game. Kind of give us the rundown. Like, first of all, maybe I'm putting you on the spot too much here, but like, give us the little backstory, where things are with the game. And then I want to hear the Kairos like hype meter on a scale from 1 to 10. How excited are you, both of you guys, about all of these games like long term? Okay.
Yes.
So let's start with the basics. What do you think of R.I.S.E.? What is Project R.I.S.E.?
Okay, so a long time ago, Supercell made an announcement video. They were like 3 new Clash games coming into the game. Okay, coming out sometime. They were like Clash Mini, which got killed. Then they were like, Clash Quest.
Oh,
yeah.
That's what it was. Darien game.
Clash Quest, which was killed. And then they had Clash Heroes, which was killed. Okay. So they took Clash Heroes, they killed it. They took kind of like the very basics of what Clash Heroes was, and they were like, we're going to kind of rework everything from the ground up and just use that structure to then make Project R.I.S.E. So it's interesting because Clash Heroes, at the time that I played it in a beta, which was a long time ago, it was actually further along in development than Project R.I.S.E. is now in terms of gameplay. Project R.I.S.E. now, though, is very good. We've had a couple of very early alpha tests. It still has a long way to go in terms of development before it's ready for people to play, but I think it has a lot of potential. It's really difficult for me to give it like on a scale of 1 to 10 how hyped I am for it, because right now it is very bare bones. I think potential-wise, though, it's got a massive... it's got a lot of potential, especially from the fact that there's so many people that have fallen in love with the Clash universe. And if they can get that feeling of like a co-op dungeon crawler with your friends where you level up, and they could also tie in some elements of like, hey, now you get upgrades like you would in like a roguelike or a roguelite type of game where you like get big upgrades as you progress through the dungeon. I think that it could be a really smash hit, but I think the verdict is still out on it. It's going to very much depend on what the developers do. The good news is that they are incorporating community feedback very early. And as long as they do a good job at listening to community feedback and making the right decisions forward, it has insane potential. It could be like the next big Supercell game after Moko, of course, because I think Moko is going to be the next big Supercell game. But we'll get to that later. Echo, you've played Project R.I.S.E a lot more than I have. I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are after I've kind of rattled on about it.
No, I agree with a lot of the things that you said. I'm a huge action RPG guy coming from like the Diablo world, so Moko and Project R.I.S.E are both exciting to me. What I really like about Project R.I.S.E is that it does incorporate the Supercell universe. I was actually worried about Moko because they weren't doing any Supercell character focus. You know, it was all something new. So I was wondering how excited were people going to get with all these new characters, where Project R.I.S.E, it has all the ones that you know and love, and they're in this tower. So the problem you have with action RPGs on mobile are they're typically long grind game sessions where you're in a game, you're in these dungeons for hours just trying to grind your gear. So Supercell has done a really nice job in Clash Heroes putting it into a tower system. So basically you're trying to get through each level of the tower, which are short game modes, the way that Supercell does. And it really, so far, fits really well. You get upgrades as you go, you can keep certain upgrades and continuously grow your character's build along the way. It's a very light version of an action RPG. It's also quite addicting and fun. As you stated, it's so early on, like the HUDs aren't even all in place yet, which is why it's the first on our list today. We're not going to see it for a while. But I did play all the tests of it. I gave my initial impression videos and things on the channel, and I even interviewed the team talking about the development. So when you talk about how they feel about community and interacting with community, I agree 100%. That game is being driven by community feedback, which is, I mean, this is a whole different approach that Supercell's taking in the last, year, I guess. And I love it. I think that the game is going to be great, but I'm not convinced that it's going to go global. I mean, we really just don't know.
Yeah, their track record is very picky, right, when it comes to taking games global. So you never know. Like I've learned after a decade, and I'm sure that you guys are exactly the same, that you just like enjoy what they give you, right? But don't get super excited. At least I don't, until we actually see a game. Because sometimes there's been games that we feel really good about out of Supercell, and like those are the ones that oftentimes people are blindsided, but they're just killed because of that high standard that they have. Final question on R.I.S.E to you guys is, so it's like I'm getting the feel of like a dungeon crawler Diablo, but with like roguelike upgrades and stuff like that. Is it class based and is it fully co-op?
Yeah, yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Okay,
you
there
have
we
different
go.
characters. You play
That's cool.
like you can go in as the barbarian, and
I like that.
And then it's you with I believe 2 other teammates, and it's the 3 of you go into this tower. And I call it a dungeon crawler, but really it's the opposite. It's a tower crawler. You go up instead of down. It doesn't make that much of a difference, but your goal is to get as high into the tower as you can before you die. And then to some extent, your progression is reset. I'm not sure how much they changed it, but to some extent, your progression is reset, but you gain some abilities or some progression based off of what you did. And then you kind of like go back to another level and start again and keep trying to climb higher this next time. Is that fair, Echo? I played the first alpha. Well, the first couple, but not the most recent one very much.
So the most recent one, you weren't reset all the way to the bottom of the tower, because that was devastating.
Yeah.
You get 25 levels up, you're grinding for hours, and then you lose and you're at tower level 1. And that completely, you're like, okay, I'm not going to play this anymore. That's the feeling you would get. So, all that's going to be reworked. They can't have that complete, wind out of your sails feeling. They have to, make it so that I lost. Let's dive back in. Like we could beat it next time, and they'll get there. They've already made improvements towards that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. It probably underscores the fact that this is the earliest game that we're going to speak about in development. So, really cool, guys. Appreciate the rundown. Now we have Boat Game, which is next on the agenda. It took the world by storm. I don't know if you guys had any secret heads up to this game, but man, no one really, I didn't hear any buzz about a new game being released or anything like that. And then we got all the tweets, all the surprise videos, and there it is. It's Boat Game. It's kind of you guys could probably describe it better than I could, but it's very battle royale type feel to it, at least from the aesthetics. And it's kind of a shooter from Supercell, which is also very interesting. I think Echo mentioned at the top of the video, but like I heard, a little birdie told me that like the designers in other games, because obviously every Supercell, they're somewhat siloed, but they all play all the games. Like, this is the big favorite right now, or a lot of people are hooked on it internally at Supercell, which is really cool to hear because those guys know games. What do you guys think? You both played. Echo, start with you this time, man. Like, what were your first impressions of Boat Game?
Yeah, this is actually the one game today that I have not played, the one that I don't have experience with. So it's good to start with me because I can give you my thought. I think it's cool. It's something that's different and very different for Supercell. I've obviously watched a bunch of people's videos on it, so I see you could like kind of battle with your ships, and then you could take it on land and battle too. I don't have much of a feeling on it because I didn't get a hands-on, but I do love hearing that the team itself is excited about it. And I honestly don't even know where it is in development. Like, I don't know, like you said, it was kind of sprung on us. Kairos, I'm going to lean on you here for any info.
Tells me Kairos might know some of this stuff.
Kairos knows all.
Yeah. So Boat Game is still pretty early in development. Like, even during the alpha playtest, you'll go into like the first world, and the first world looks fine, but then you get into the second world, and a lot of the walls are like missing textures and stuff. Like, it's very clearly like they still have a long ways to go. But let me give you a basic idea of what Boat Game is, okay? Have either of you played Sea of Thieves?
Seen it, not played it, but yes,
Okay.
familiar.
Same.
I haven't played it either, but a lot of people say it's similar. So for any of you guys out there listening that have played Sea of Thieves, this is kind of what I gather from other people telling me is Sea of Thieves, except they'll actually have update content and there's a reason to continue playing beyond a few hours, right? The idea, the gameplay loop is that you go on a boat and you go out to some different islands. And on the islands, there are treasure maps or certain objectives for you to get chests. And you take those chests and you put them on your boat and you bring them back to the main hub and you bring them to the locksmith, and the locksmith opens it up and gives you the contents of the chest, which are upgrades to your current weapons and stuff like that, okay? This is all a third-person shooter, but the interesting catch to all of that is that at any point, there are other players and they can push a button to go bad. And when they go bad, that means that they can start shooting you instead of monsters and enemies. And if they kill you, they can take your loot and your chests and put them on their boat. And if they can escape without getting killed, then they get all the loot that you went out there to try and farm. And so there's an interesting strategy of like, am I going to be good and play friendly with everybody else? And are we going to grab all these chests and gain the loot? Or in the middle of us fighting all these monsters, am I going to go bad and kill them and then take off with it? So it's very interesting PvE versus PvP element in there. And it's going to be very interesting. It's kind of unlike anything that we've seen on mobile, I think. I will give a very quick disclaimer here that I am not a big shooter gamer. I've played some first person, some third person. I've played it all, and some of them I really enjoy, and I really like Boat Game. But it's just not like what I love to do, which is
I'm the
totally
same
fine.
boat. I'm the same boat.
Yeah,
no pun intended.
Yeah, but for the people that love shooters, I think that this is going to be a really fun game. It's going to feel very fresh and exciting, and it's going to be really fun to play with friends, and then just go and like kill all the noobs and stuff like that. Like, it's going to be interesting.
It sounds like maybe a little mini prisoner's dilemma kind of built into the game theory of this one, which is really, really cool. I love it. I love that psychological kind of aspect of it. From a content creation standpoint, the question that only 3 people listening right now care about, which of you guys would be more excited to make a video for? Boat Game or R.I.S.E? Actually, let me rephrase it. An aspiring creator comes up to you and says, "Hey, I'm thinking about going all in on R.I.S.E and Boat Game. I assume they have the same trajectory of a development cycle. Which would you recommend? What do you think is more friendlier to content?"
That's a really good question. I don't think that it's a really fair to give a good answer. I think the best answer would just be go with which you enjoy playing the most. Like, I think both of them are going to have audiences, but I think that those 2 audiences are completely different. And the best thing for you to do is to dedicate yourself to the audience that you feel more of a part of if you're a content creator. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not going to make Minecraft content, even though I know that there's a gold mine of people that are interested in Minecraft, because I don't like playing Minecraft. So I'm not part of that audience. I can't represent them. So I don't know.
Very good answer.
It's probably not the answer you were looking for.
It's okay.
yeah.
I'm going to take your answer, spin it, and throw it to Echo with the hard hitting. Echo, let's just say you were equally into both of them. Which would you recommend?
That's funny. I was going to compliment how great of a YouTube advice answer that was from Kairos. For me, I do plan on covering Project Rise on the channel. I like action RPGs. I'll be doing Moko there too. They're both like similar genre. So I would probably not do boat game, even though my roots from when I really was a massive console gamer are all shooter content. Like it was Gears of War, Halo, and Call of Duty, right? So, but I'm into the action RPGs now. So I like what Kairos said. You go with what you love because, man, you're gonna be making a lot of videos in that game. You better love it.
And they're quite different. So it's to Kairos' point. It's hard to compare. Yeah,
you really can't compare them. I think that more people in general are interested in playing shooters. Especially first and second person shooters, or sorry, first, second, and third. But then again, that audience doesn't necessarily digest a whole lot of content on YouTube, with the exception of Fortnite and Call of Duty and PUBG.
PUBG Mobile.
So never mind. Tons of people.
There's quite a few wars.
Never mind.
But I see your point though. Okay, so I'm going to ask an unfair question. We have Clash Mini, Moko, and Squad Busters coming up, including Rise and Boat Game. Is Supercell sticking to their ethos in all these games of keeping the matches pretty fast? Is that the case for all 5 of these games, in your guys' opinions?
Definitely not Moko.
Okay.
It can be.
You can be. Yeah.
A teaser for Moko, guys. A teaser for Moko.
We could talk a little bit about it. The thing with Moko is that you can hop in and you can play the same map for hours. That's what I did yesterday, trying to kill ladybugs for 2 hours. And anyway, but we'll get back to Moko later.
We'll get there. But first,
but I think that has more to do with the fact that all of these games are mobile games, and the mobile gaming audience typically thrives a little bit better on short-term matches. That's just the way that it goes. As opposed to if you're like sitting down, it takes a little bit of time to get to your desk, turn on your computer, or sit down on the couch, turn on your console, load up the game, go in, and then start playing, connect to the internet. It takes a lot of time. You have to dedicate it, and you're not going to be jumping into matches on PC or on console unless you are ready to dedicate some time to it. And that's how PC and console gamers play. Mobile gamers is a completely different thing. It's like you're waiting in line at Subway and you pull out your phone and do a quick match of Brawl Stars and then put it away and you go and eat your food. It's just so different. So it's hard to say.
All right. Clash Mini time. Clash Mini. So last I heard, Clash Mini was being killed and it was being added to Clash Royale. Where do things stand right now?
I'm going to take this one because I covered a lot of Clash Mini and I really like the game a lot.
You did. You had the Clash Mini channel.
Yeah, I'm very not biased at all. In my opinion, Clash Mini was the best auto battler on mobile that you could play, hands down. It took the confusing complexities that you have from auto chess and teamfight tactics, and it boiled it down to the core basics and made it fun so that somebody who doesn't play the game for 30 plus hours can actually understand it. The problem is that the auto battler genre doesn't have the audience that Supercell is interested in appealing to. It doesn't have mass appeal. If you like auto battlers, Clash Mini was the best. It was so great. Unless you really like the complexities. If you've dumped 100 hours into an auto battler like Teamfight Tactics or Auto Chess and you understand how it works, then those are going to be your jam for sure. But if you're new to the auto battler genre and you like it, Clash Mini was the best. Just didn't have the audience. So instead what they've decided to do is they have scrapped Clash Mini. They are integrating it into Clash Royale to some extent. We don't know all the details behind that. My biggest fears for it is that they're going to change it too much to be like other auto battlers. If they make Clash Mini too similar to other auto battlers where you have all the complex upgrade systems and you have all the different star mechanics where it's like you have to get duplicates and join them together and all that. If they do that, then I see it not doing great because it's like, well, if you just recreate another auto battler, why am I going to be playing it in Clash Royale when I could be playing Teamfight Tactics or Auto Chess? And so that's my biggest worry. My hope is that they kind of stick to what made Clash Mini great and allow it to thrive for the people who love Clash Mini inside Clash Royale. And my second big fear is how progression is going to tie in with Clash Royale, because I will play it a lot if I don't have to play the other game modes in Clash Royale, because I've played Clash Royale, I've loved Clash Royale, I have moved on from Clash Royale. I have no interest in continuing to play Clash Royale, except for maybe a one-off video every now and then. But we'll have to see. We just don't know. Yeah. There's not a whole lot of public information out there, and it's we just have to wait and see. But I see this one, beyond Moko and Squad Busters, which are already live, this one is going to come out probably the soonest, in my opinion. It just matters when they're going to release it in as a mini game in Clash Royale.
I feel like this is the one that we've all played probably, well, I can't speak for you guys, but the most, certainly for me. Echo, what was your experience for Mini, and what are your expectations on it being inside Clash Royale? Because I have all kinds of follow-up questions for you guys, but I want to hear your first take first.
I mean, you have the content creator mind, and then you have the player mind, right? Like, a lot of content creators were super excited. The game was, in my opinion, extremely polished, and there was no shot that thing wasn't going global, at least in my mind. And I think, I mean, I remember when that was announced, and I feel like there was depression striking so many people about that. It was a rough time for some aspiring content creators.
Yeah, my title for my video was legitimately "This is a mistake," and I still stand by it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for overtaking your comment, but I'm going to just say this really fast. I think that the team should have just launched it and made the best auto battler that Supercell could make, and made it the best, and been okay with it not reaching mass appeal. Because there would have been a dedicated audience who would have spent some money on it and would have really loved it. There were some issues. The game wasn't perfect, but I think that they kind of let those issues. I don't think that they were willing to fix those issues simply because it wasn't. I mean, Supercell's logo is to create games that people will play for years and that will reach as many people as possible. The game was good. It wasn't going to reach as many people as possible, and I think that it was a mistake in them killing it, just because I think that Supercell needs to kind of change their motto just a little bit, and that is to make the best games that they can make. And
period.
Yeah, I think that's what they should do.
Genre leading games, right? Like, if it could have been the best.
Genre leading games. It could have been.
And the barrier of entry
auto battler
was so much easier anyway, over time, especially on Mini. So, like, who's to say it wouldn't have been able to cultivate that audience a little bit slower over time, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, Echo, what was your...
Sorry for hijacking your comment, Echo. You can continue talking. Yeah. I just had to say that. It was a mistake. They should have continued going it.
I see your heart bleeding right now, Kairos.
It is, dude. I freaking love the game. I really did. I enjoyed it so much. It was the best auto battler I've ever played, and I hope that they stick to it. In terms of content creation, I'm not going back to create content on Clash Mini if it's in Clash Royale, but I will certainly play it if I enjoy it.
Yeah, I like the game a lot too. I dabbled in the idea of, like, is this going to be my next direction for content? But I didn't make any hard moves like a lot of people did. What I think they should have done is just cut down the team to bare bones and release the game, and have a slow roller, kind of like you were saying, and let it grow over time. Keep the game clean, keep the game functioning well, and not launch it with expectations of it being the next smash hit. I mean, I love the idea of Supercell releasing genre-leading games, even if those genres are small. I mean, I cover Diablo Immortal. I'm one of the largest creators for the game, and it is a small niche genre, and that's an action RPG. And now we're seeing, you know, they're messing around in that genre as well. So either way, I think Clash Mini was great. I'm really curious to what it's going to look like in Clash Royale. I haven't done any testing or anything of that. But we'll see. I'll definitely play around with it and mess with it. I still do, though, play Clash Royale every day, Kairos.
Great. I'm glad that you have a healthy relationship with that abusive game. No, I'm just kidding.
What do you guys think? Like, okay, my last question on Clash Mini is, what the heck is this putting it inside Clash Royale, man? Like, I mean, we've known about this for a while now, 6 months, if not longer. But I still can't make sense of it in terms of, I'm not saying it's the wrong decision. It's just a bewildering one, and one that's hard to picture, right? Like, we all know mini games from other games that we play, but is it going to be a mini game, again, pun intended, or is it going to be a, you know, like, I don't understand. Are they hiding this? Are they trying to salvage a project they put a lot of time and money into by repurposing it into another game? Or is, like, I don't understand that's the part with me is like, okay, you kill it because for whatever reason, and I definitely acquiesce and empathize with what you guys are saying about I think it was the wrong decision. I tend to agree based on what you guys said, but what do you think about putting it in Clash Royale? I don't even understand. Can you even consider it a game if it's in Clash Royale? Like, any idea what that's going to look like at all, Kairos?
That is a good question. And I feel like there's a lot of different ways I could talk about this. But, and it's been a long time since I played Clash Royale, okay? But let me tell you what my issue was with Clash Royale when I kind of moved on. And that was the fact that they sucked at launching new games in the game, like new modes. Like, I look at Brawl Stars now. Brawl Stars has so many awesome modes, and they're all played very similarly, but the main point of the match is different, and it creates a different play style. You play Hot Zone, very different than you play Solo Showdown, very different than you play a Gem Grab or Brawl Ball. These are all different game modes that you have in Brawl Stars. And Clash Royale tried that. You remember with Touchdown?
Oh yeah.
Gosh.
Oh, I can't.
They were like, we got the biggest, newest, awesome new game mode. You guys are gonna love it. And they released Touchdown, and it was just such a letdown.
We've removed
right?
towers and everything else, and you can watch your guy run.
Yeah.
I did the official event casting for that way back in the day, and I remember
Sorry.
it's interesting when you see stuff. You guys have both been in the situation when you get the privilege of seeing something early on, and it doesn't resonate with you, but you don't want to be one to be like, okay, this is stupid, because you're like, oh, maybe some people will like this, and then like oftentimes it's 6 months later it actually gets released, and then the reception sometimes mirrors what you thought. Other times you're wrong, but that was a head scratcher. But yeah, it's cool. On a scale from 1 to 10, because I love these 1 to 10 questions for you, what do you think on what is the state of Brawl Stars right now? If 10 was its highest it's ever been and 1 was its lowest, like where are things right now? I have not been keeping up.
Like an 8 or a 9. Brawl Stars is great right now.
Feel good.
Yeah. Brawl Stars hit a new records in about this time last year, and since then we've been seeing a little bit of a decline in interest, and I'm just talking about like analytics on my YouTube channel and on Google Trends and stuff like that. But the developers continue to release awesome updates. They are releasing new game modes all the time, and they test them out, and then whichever ones stick and do well, they make kind of permanent. And I don't know if that is what the developers are doing for Clash Mini or into Clash Royale. But imagine a world where Clash Royale is able to take advantage of rotating mini games where the experience feels fresh and new and exciting. For me, a big reason why I left Clash Royale is because it was the same game mode for years, and nothing major changed except for releasing new cards. And since then, they've added heroes and other really cool things and evolutions that I don't have experience playing with, and that has changed the game. But what if they could do that alongside adding more mini games like Clash Royale, like Clash Mini into the game? I just can't help but feel like that would be a good step in the next direction, or the next step in the direction. I just feel like that's how they're going to continue keeping long-term players invested in Clash Royale. I know there are people that have been playing Clash Royale the entire time and have no interest in leaving, and they love that one game mode. Totally get that. I love that. But I think that I think Clash Royale is probably more of a rotating door, where as people are coming into the game, there are other people that are leaving. And I think that they want to keep more people coming in and staying than they have people leaving. That's my perception of it as somebody who has not played Clash Royale for years.
So a bit of a retention model, or a retention tactic, potentially.
Keep it fresh.
It's
just an idea, because nothing else makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Supercell is not one. They are not afraid of killing games.
No.
They're just not. So why would they keep Clash Mini? I don't think it's because the Clash Mini audience was super dedicated to it. I think it's because they have a vision of having that game mode and bringing something to Clash Royale to freshen Clash Royale. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. Yeah. Nothing else makes sense.
Kind of like the builder base of Clash Royale.
Yeah, exactly. Or Clash of Clans. Yeah, they added Clash of Clans.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's the builder base to Clash of Clans to Clash Royale. Maybe it's like an alternate way to play the game, Except
that had an issue as well. That was
right?
Not as bad as Touchdown. But that, But yeah, exactly. Kind of like that.
Okay, cool. Moko, guys. Moko. I'm going to hand it to you first. Both of you guys been grinding the hell out of Moko, which it's weird. I like told myself I was going to, then I downloaded it and I played 5 minutes. So I'm like, okay, I want to really carve out some time, and then I haven't yet because it's been a few days since, this is released. But I also did not play it during the first alpha, like what felt like a year or two or 20 ago. So Echo, start with you, man. You said at the beginning of this conversation that you were not expecting to be hooked on Moko. Why weren't you expecting to, and why did it surpass those expectations?
Yeah. So I've played all the alpha and, dev builds, and I've been in there to test out the game. Actually, it's something that I know it's bad to be on your phone before bed, but it was a little tradition of my son, who's 8, and I to play some Moko. He was in love with the game, and I would let him play for 10 minutes before bed, then I tell him a story and we go to bed. He's been asking me since that last build was unavailable, when's Moko coming? When's Moko coming? And he's just been so excited about it. I love the Supercell universe. I love utilizing Brawl Stars, Clash Royale, Clash of Clans characters inside of their game. So I'm someone who's sitting on the fence between Project R.I.S.E and Moko, and I really vibed with Project R.I.S E. I was in both, able to play both of them, and I love that I was able to play with the characters. And I didn't right away vibe with these brand new, cyberpunk style characters that we're getting in Moko. But the gameplay of Moko is just so good. It's the music. It's literally on Spotify, and I have listened to it. The music is that good. The gameplay is so smooth. It mixes the ARPG difficulty and the challenge and grind that you get, and it simplifies all of that. Not saying that there's not a grind to the game, because there is, but it just simplifies everything that I know from playing the Diablo style games, which is even more of a simplified version of like a Path of Exile, because these things can get crazy complex. Moko, it came out, I said, yeah, I'm gonna give this a shot. I love action RPGs, and I'm like, let me do a stream, and I just didn't stop streaming. I was having such a great time, and I was watching the audience love it and die. How do we get in? How do we get in? We're able to give these codes. So in noticing how the community seems to really have positive feedback on the game, how much I've been enjoying playing the game, and honestly, how much I could play this game with my kids. You could team up with party members, and you could, that's just like in Brawl Stars, you could party up and play these game modes together. It really is great. I have been loving playing it. I will be streaming it right when we're done recording this video. I'm gonna go back and play more Moko. It's and something that really surprised me, I hit level 15, and then a PvEVP zone opened up where you can fight against enemies and then fight against other people. I didn't even know that was there. And I was like, oh my God, I'm thinking this is esports potential. This could be huge. Like, this is a cool element in the game. Of course, there's grind inside of the game. All Supercell games have that grind. All action RPGs really have that grind.
I love a good grind, though. I love a good grind.
That's the thing is action ARPG or RPGs and MMOs. Like, I love that grind.
You want the grind, yeah.
Yeah, if the grind feels satisfying.
Yeah, you want the grind. You want to be addicted to the stupid grind. Like, dude, that's that sweet spot. And it sounds like you guys are.
Dude, the number of hours I've played in like old school RuneScape is just insane because the grind is just crazy, but it's so satisfying.
Forgot that was your jam from back in the day. Do you still play or no?
Dude, I still play.
Wow.
I created an account like 4 years ago. It has something like it's insane playtime. I could look it up right now if you wanted me to, but it's not.
That's awesome though. I've never played personally, but I get the. I feel like some of the same nostalgia I have from my EverQuest and World of Warcraft, kind of like in some regard. That's what I hear from other people who have played. But okay, that's a great assessment.
Let's go back to Moko here. Yes. I wanted to say a couple of things. I just want to echo what Echo is saying here, and that is that there is something very truly magical when you are in Moko and there is this giant monster and you're trying to kill it and it is just beating you senseless. Like, you are struggling. And then all of a sudden another person comes and starts joining and starts helping you. And then 3 other people come and join you. And by the time the monster is dead, there are 30 plus hunters all there just swarming this monster. And then afterwards, after you kill the monster, everyone spins and then runs off in a direction, and you as this massive mob are just like going through and just obliterating every monster on the map. It is unlike anything I've ever experienced in any other game. It's very unlike, like, I imagine you played like World of Warcraft or even Diablo, any of the Diablo games. It's a very solo experience with the few exceptions where maybe you see a few other players and you interact with them. In Moko, the game almost encourages players to bunch up, and it feels incredibly social, even though you're not saying anything to anybody. It's so wild. It's just like so fun. And I think that's a big reason why it's so fun to stream, is because people can hop into your lobbies and you can have 120 some odd people all in the same room and all just going crazy and farming these monsters and stuff. It's so interesting. And so fresh. And so unlike
give us
anything
the
else.
elevator pitch or the high level. What is Moko? And the second part is what's changed from the first version of Moko to now?
The elevator pitch for Moko is just, it's a very satisfying, fun hack and slash style RPG. If you go in, you hack, you slash, you kill all the monsters, they die, they explode, they give you XP, they give you stuff to upgrade your weapons, you unlock new weapons, and then you go and you kill more monsters so you can keep upgrading weapons. And if you have played any game like that before, you hear that and you're like, I'm in. If you've never played a game like that and you don't understand the satisfying experience of upgrading your loot and stuff like that, you might be like, well, what's the point? And you're like, I'm upgrading weapons. What do you mean? What's the point? I'm killing monsters and I'm upgrading my weapons so that I can get better weapons and kill more monsters. And people are like, but when does it end? And you're like, it doesn't end. You just keep going. It's amazing. You know? But you got to experience it. You really got to experience it and have some fun with it. They really took some of the best parts of RPGs like that and just nailed it in, or MMOs or whatever, Monster Hunter style.
Like my son's really into like Hyrule Warriors, like Age of Calamity and those kind of games.
Yeah, that's a very hack and
I'm not
slash
sure
game.
how much parallels there are, but it's the same concept of like, new types of monsters, new types of scenery and background and locations, upgrading the weapons, more characters, and like fun ensues.
Yeah, it's fun. To answer your other question, how much has changed? The biggest thing that has changed is how the actual progression works. So in the previous beta, how you upgraded your gear is you would go and you would have to kill like 150 monsters to get these specific monster parts. And then you would take those monster parts to be able to upgrade your weapons and stuff that you want to upgrade. They have simplified that version and they made it so that whenever you kill a monster, there's a chance for you to get a chaos core. And it seems to be like it scales based off of your current level compared to the level of monsters that you're fighting. If the monsters you're fighting are significantly higher, they're more likely to give you chaos cores. And those chaos cores will randomly upgrade any one of your pieces of gear. This is the, I think, the biggest thing that people are on the fence on right now. People who played the beta and enjoyed that experience of grinding out all the monster parts to upgrade your gear and loved it, they hate the chaos courses. And I completely understand where they're coming from, because I also loved the grindiness of hunting all these monsters and looking for specific parts so that you can choose to upgrade which gear you want to do. I preferred that, actually. But I also said in one of my videos that I think that this new system is better for way more people. I still think that the developers need to add some sort of system in there so that you can focus on upgrading the gear that you want to upgrade, because that's kind of the whole point of these games. I mean, you mentioned Path of Exile. Path of Exile has the most insane upgrade tree that I have seen in any other game ever. And you can hyper-focus your build to be just crazy because of the combinations that you've done. Or you can be an all generalist and just be generally really strong and good. You can do whatever you want. In Moko, you don't get that experience of being able to hyper focus on specific play time or a play style until you reach Hunter level 30, which is when you unlock Endgame or the Elite Hunter program. But that is something that I have had experience only with the beta 5 months ago, and I am sure that they have changed some things. In fact, I know that they've changed some things because you look into the menu and you can see some things that are different since then. But we'll have to wait and see exactly what happens. By the time this comes out, maybe people have already reached Elite Hunter level and will be able to share.
Well, that was my next question. So it seems like you kind of already answered it, but I was going to ask exactly that. Like, what does the end game in a game like Moko look like? Maybe you don't know the upgrades or the specifics, but like, what do you do?
I can tell you what the end game was 5 months ago. The idea at that point is you reach max level. And from that point, your gear can only get upgraded to that max level. But from there, you are able to unlock modifiers. Based off of the UI in the game now, it looks like they've renamed modifiers to be Elite Hunter rings. And these rings or modifiers have specific stats associated with them, like movement speed, attack speed, crit rate, crit multiplier, and all these different things, so that you can then take 3 of these modifiers or amplifiers or elite rings or whatever, and you can use them to further tweak your build to be able to do some additional things. And the idea is that you can only unlock those once you are at max level. And so once you reach max level, you keep on doing it so that you can then upgrade more, you can unlock more gear, you can further tweak your character how you want it to be. And then they would release a new chapter. Think of chapters kind of like expansion packs in like World of Warcraft or something like that. It's where, hey, we're releasing new gear, new equipment, new monsters, new areas, but all of the levels that you got from being an elite hunter are reset, and everybody is back down to level 30. And then let's say the new chapter comes out, the new max level is 40. And so then everybody gets reset to 30. Then they grind back up to level 40, and then they reach elite hunter status again, and then the loop continues. My biggest feedback with this system was that there was no sense of long-term progression. Like, what's the point of continuing to grind once all of your gear is maxed out, and then you lose all of your elite hunter rings or amplifiers? And there is something now in the game called an elite hunter module that didn't exist 5 months ago. My hope is that elite hunter module is essentially a sense of permanent progression that you get from hunting as an elite hunter, but I don't know. That's just an assumption based off of what I hope they're doing. The thing that I love about old school RuneScape compared to like World of Warcraft is that when they add new content, none of the new content erases the accomplishments that you had before that content was released. As opposed to like World of Warcraft or even maybe Diablo, where once new content comes out, all of your best gear in the game is essentially useless compared to the new best gear, and you have to restart basically. So that's my hope. Anyway, that was a long rant. I'm good at long rants.
No, I think it was a great. No, I think it was a thorough breakdown. I really enjoyed it. I love the idea. I love the expansion pack comparison as well. Like it jives with me. What do you think of? What do you guys think of the skill level of this game? Like maybe compared to a Brawl Stars, is it like a little bit less skill based, or is it apples and oranges?
I mean, Brawl Stars, you're actually going and fighting against other players. Here, you're going against, it's much more of a PvE style game. So it's more casual in that way, in my opinion. Like this, you could just run with a mob and you could all take everything down. As you said, you get 30 people running together. You're an unstoppable mob. You could just power up and do all that. It's quite satisfying as you do it as well. So I would say it's less, I don't want to say less difficult, but it's just a different type of a game if we're comparing it to something like a Brawl Stars.
Yeah, it's a really good question, and this is another piece of feedback that a lot of players have been sharing so far. I mean, we're recording this on day 3 of Moko's launch. Yeah. Let me tell you this. People have not reached the hard parts yet. They haven't at all. They're not even close. And I think that right now, Moko has not even begun to tap into the potential of skill expression and difficulty. I think that the skill expression difficulty, a lot of it is going to come down to the 4-player rifts. They're basically dungeons that last like 8 minutes long. The first 6 of them, pretty easy. Let's be honest. They are easing players in. Their goal is to make this the most like accessible game for as many people as possible. I can play Moko with my 6-year-old. I do play Moko with my 6-year-old, and she's great at it. She's better than my wife is, which is weird, but that's a whole other topic. Once you start getting up into higher levels, there are monsters and bosses that are difficult, and that you like early on, you just save your dash for when you need it, and it's like, cool, no big problem, whatever. Eventually, you are going to start facing monsters where it's like, why are they one-shotting me? What is going on here? because you keep running out of dashes. And until you learn their mechanics, you're going to continue dying. And that there will be a point where you will have the gear power to just stomp things. But if you want to be the first to beat something, or the first time you reach it, if you want to beat it, you're going to have that skill expression. Now, with that being said, there's one aspect of the game that I don't like, and that is that they have these timers where in these single player dungeons or these 4-player dungeons, where if you don't kill it by a certain period of time, the monsters just go in rage and just kill everybody, and there's like almost nothing you can do. I don't love that. My hope is that they continue to really get into making content that is challenging and is more so than just like a stat monster. Nobody wants to just like kill a stat monster that just you're just sitting there hammering it for a super long time until it dies.
Some strategic depth to it and variability, I guess, right?
Yeah. And right now, as people are playing right now on day 3, they haven't reached that. And we don't know what content is available. We do know that there are new worlds available once you reach Elite Hunter level 100. So that's essentially level 130. And it's going to take a long time before people reach that.
Yeah.
I think people need to just like chill and calm down and wait until they see that skill expression. The fact that you cannot manually aim your abilities is also a very frustrating talking point for a lot of players, something that I personally agree with and I dislike as a mobile content creator. I want to be able to aim my abilities. However, there is one thing my hope is, and that is that my hope is that eventually this game will be cross-platform with PC and console. That is the only reason why I can imagine them making it so that every ability is auto-aimed. I mean, that was my feedback day one. It's like, why can I not manually aim my abilities? You can even manually aim your abilities in Diablo Immortal, and it's fantastic. I love it. I want that. Why can't we do it? They haven't said anything about why we can't do it, and so I'm trying to figure out, well, why would they not do that when everybody is saying, let me aim my abilities? You don't even have to make it so that you have to aim it. People can still auto-aim. Let me aim it. Why won't you let me aim it? The only thing that makes sense for me is that they want to make it, I hope, is that they want to make it cross compatible with PC and console. Because have you ever tried playing Brawl Stars with a controller? You cannot do it. It's ridiculous because you can't use a controller to aim a super and an attack and a hypercharger. Like you can't aim with a controller your attacks. It's impossible. There's just no way to do it. Even on PC, it would be very frustrating to try and use a mouse to try and aim in Brawl Stars with the click and the drag. You can't do that. Right. So why won't they add
a big handicap? Yeah.
Exactly. It just wouldn't work. All of a sudden, the best way to play the game would be on mobile compared to PC and console. And the PC and console players would be like, this is stupid. This is a waste of time.
Yep.
If they make it cross-compatible, it makes complete sense why everything is auto-aimed. Yeah. Because you just press a button. And you can do that on PC. You can do that on mobile. You can do it on a controller. Whatever you want. And so that's my hope.
Interesting.
I don't know if they'll do that. Supercell's never released like a console or a PC game to that extent.
No, like I feel like it's very against their
again,
like
mobile
their
first,
ethos,
right?
but it does make sense, you know. And
it's just the one thing that makes sense to me, so I'm like holding on to it because otherwise I'm pissed at them for not letting me manually aim my abilities. Like actually.
Exactly.
You even said earlier on, Kairos, that you could spend a lot of time on these maps running around. You could spend hours, which lends itself well to people that are going to be console and PC gamers as well. I think this of all their games is the one that would benefit from PC. You'd get action RPG players that are looking for a more casual experience that hate phone games, and they would play it over there. I mean,
no pay to progress. No pay to progress.
All cosmetic.
You cannot pay for any You can't pay for power. You can't pay for progression at all. The only thing you can buy is cosmetics.
So good.
Not for me. No, I'm just joking.
Not for you. Ash is like, if I can't pay to win,
wait a second,
I'm just gonna lose.
I'm gonna have to let my skill alone speak for my ability. I can't do that.
Oh, that sounds awful.
No, that's really good news. Obviously, jokes aside, that's really cool. So there's no maxed out player already or anything like that. To your point earlier, right? It's just like everybody progresses based on just time, right?
Yeah. Nobody has reached Elite Hunter level 100, and nobody is anywhere close. I think that today people have reached Elite Hunter level on day 3, which is insane. They should probably shower,
get some sleep, touch some grass.
But at the same time, I appreciate the grind and I respect him for it. I think number 1 is Itsu actually, and he's insane and in a great way. He's insane.
No
in a
shocker.
Great way.
Yeah.
I have nothing but great things and appreciation for Itsu. He's great. But
Uh,
yeah, people aren't
okay.
anywhere close to max level. It'll take a long time before they reach Elite Hunter level 100. And even then, I don't know if that's the cap. I just know that that's the last area that is unlockable.
Now,
Final question for both of you guys on Moko, and feel free to give any other thoughts too. Is can it first a little bit of a softball, then I'll upgrade my question if you both answer yes. Will it reach the Mount Rushmore of Supercell games? So basically, be a top 4 Supercell game when all said and done.
top 4. That means Clash Royale,
It'll be
Clash of
Heyday.
Clans, Brawl Stars, Moko.
And not Squad Busters.
I mean, I think
Yeah,
it's,
you got to beat
I,
out Squad, Heyday, Boom Beach. You know,
I think the potential is definitely there. I think it's something very new, but I think if I had to gamble, I'd say yes, it'll be top 4.
Yeah,
Kairos?
I think so.
top 3. Here's the hardball. Does
Well,
it have
that's tough.
potential to be top 3?
If they do make it cross-platform, I think it has potential to be number 1.
Wow.
Okay, just sheer player base.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
we're talking about the actual number of people who are playing it, I think it has the potential. Let's take a look at the some of the biggest games that have ever changed the gaming industry. We're going to talk about League of Legends, Fortnite, and I want to say Minecraft, but Minecraft's a little bit different because you pay to buy it. What do League of Legends and Fortnite have in common? It's the fact that they are completely free to play. The only way for you can't pay for power, you can't pay for progression. They have reached such insane player bases that they are able to monetize their game off of cosmetics only, and that is just insane. I think that, those games completely changed the industry, and since then, the microtransactions have completely ruined massive genres. I solely, the reason why I think that Diablo Immortal did not reach the audience that everybody thought it would was because of microtransactions. Microtransactions have ruined so many awesome elements of games. They've also enabled a lot of really awesome games. I'm not saying that microtransactions are bad. It's just the MMO genre or the ARPG or the RPG genre. Those players are sick and tired of microtransactions. They are willing to try something that will be a free-to-play experience, and I think that Moko absolutely has that potential. Will it be number 1? I don't know, but I do think that it has a higher potential than Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, and Brawl Stars.
Oh, I like it. I like the bold call. We're going to play back this tape. If you're right, in a year or 2 or whatever, we'll play it back, and we'll have Kairos, the soothsayer, on the line.
If I'm wrong,
from
great.
either you guys, yeah. No, I like
I'm wrong
it, though.
about it.
It does make sense.
That's cool. But I think the potential is there. People love that free-to-play experience, and will it be there? No idea. Only time will tell. I certainly hope that it will, but the potential is there. That's what I think. Do you disagree with me, Echo? What are your thoughts? Let me also say this though. One of my biggest character flaws is my optimism and my naivety. That has always been one of my biggest character flaws. So I could just be completely wrong.
My only question is the genre itself. Can the action RPG genre beat out Clash Royale, Clash of Clans, and Brawl Stars? And I'm not sure. I know we've seen MOBAs come to mobile and really not thrive, at least in North America. Similar type things with action RPGs as well. I love your idea of it coming to PC and then having a bit of an explosion there. I would have not made a call that it would beat out some of the games that you've mentioned, just because of the time that those games have been out and accumulating players. It's insane. But I love hearing you say it, and I love the idea of it. I think that the game is definitely super solid. Something else about the cosmetics, not only is it only monetized by cosmetics, but you could even grind paid cosmetics and get some paid cosmetics for free from unlocking the free. As you find chests, you get cosmetic tokens to open up the free cosmetics, and once you unlock a whole bundle, you get a premium token, which you would buy with real money. So true free-to-play players could even grind some really great paid cosmetics over a long period of time, but they've even taken it that step further so that there's not a complete barrier between the cosmetics. So they've done a great job. I tell people on my Diablo channel, because all I hear every day is people complaining about pay to win. I'm like, check out Moko. I did a stream over there so that everyone can see it. And they initially think that I'm lying, that you can't. There's nothing paid but cosmetics. And then they try and they're like, oh my god, and people have been neglecting some of their Diablo moral duties over the last few days. I guess we could say that. They've been enjoying Royale.
There is a sliding scale somewhere between the audience size, obviously, and how much you have to monetize these games, in mobile especially. But you do see on the top of mobile still to this day, what, I don't know, is 7-10 years old, PUBG Mobile is still one of the top, if not the top grossing titles. And it's purely cosmetics as well in PUBG Mobile. I mean, like, it's great openings for outfits and whatnot. So I think that if you can get that point of saturation in that player base, I think that you can do it maybe even on mobile if you can elevate the genre with the accessibility, kind of like what we were talking about on Clash Mini earlier, right? So I think that maybe they could do it, but you just see, to Kairos's point, if you can go cross-platform, it opens up a world of new players. And just like you see it with Genshin, which certainly isn't free to play, but their player base is massive and it's cross-platform, and I just think that comparing that to the RPGs that I play on mobile is nothing close to that. We're talking like 30 to 40 million versus hundreds of millions of players, so it's got to be something that Supercell has thought about, if not in the plans. Any final thoughts on Moko before we move to Squad Busters real quick before we wrap this one up? We've been going long, but I've been absolutely enjoying the combo, guys.
I just
Final
like
thoughts.
it a lot.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Moko good.
Okay.
And you got to play it to try it. And
10 out of 10 for both of you guys. Where does it fall on your early Supercell hype meters? Have you ever been more excited about a different Supercell game? Because you guys both been around since the launch of Clash Royale, or before that,
I mean, there's nothing that beats your first time in Clash of Clans, right? But that was also my first time getting into mobile gaming. Like, oh my god, this game is awesome, and it's on a phone. Like, that was, the whole platform was new. So that is always going to be something special to me. I will say though, I have a channel dedicated to testing out mobile games. This is by far the one that I'm the most excited about. It blends itself with it fits mobile well. Like, there's a lot of games that came from PC and that made their way to mobile, and they're great games, but they just don't have what it takes to be a great game on mobile. This one is built for the platform, and I think it's really exciting.
I'm excited. You guys got me pumped for Moko, if not just to watch the content, all the other creators emerge covering the game. I think that everybody's going hard on this game, content-wise, because I remember back in the day, I did this with Clash Royale. You guys have done this with the Supercell games and other games as well, but like, is there something in the air, right, when there's a new Supercell game coming out where everybody sees this as an opportunity? If you're a struggling creator or a creator who, it's been a while since you've had your peak, you're like, this could be my chance. This could be my big chance to really blow things up to the next level. And then there's all the emerging creators are like, wow, I'm going to grind this game. I'm going to build something here, right? So it's a really cool kind of, vibe in the air, even on the creator side of things when the new game gets released. Squad Busters.
I don't know that I'm going to play Squad Busters again.
Okay.
But I'm very interested in its development. I've followed the subreddit and I pay attention to what people are saying. And they have made a lot of changes that people really like. And the game feels better now than when it first launched. And I think that's good. And I think that's great. But I think that they kind of made a mistake for two things. I think that they were not able to apply feedback fast enough. They released the game too quickly. And they also lost a lot of players to poor performance issues on like various devices and stuff like that. And I think that there's a lot of people who tried it who are never going to try it again. And I think that that's the biggest issue with Squad Busters, is just that they hit things too hard too fast, which is really sad and unfortunate, because before Squad Busters released, what I was saying, I was like, I think Supercell just needs to launch something. And then they launched something, and now that they're releasing Moko, which I'm so hyped about, all of the comments are like, this is going to be just like Squad Busters. And I'm like, no, it's not Squad Busters.
So you feel like, sure, it had maybe a rocky launch to some extent, but they've made, I know that they made like big changes, right, about a month ago. So you feel like those changes are probably a step in the right direction and there's brighter days ahead. Is that an accurate assessment?
So I have not played the new changes. So that's important to clarify. All I'm saying is that I am seeing that people are enjoying those changes, and that the public sentiment is that the Squad Busters team is taking community feedback and they are applying it in the right direction.
Okay.
And that's good, and that's exciting, and I think that's good. I don't think that it's on live support. It's not at the level that Boom Beach is at, which gets an update like once a year or something like that.
Yeah,
it's not at that level.
That's real. Yeah. But hey,
it's not at that level.
Keeping that game strong, keeping the game going.
Yeah, they're continuing to release content. They're continuing to make those changes. They want to make the game as good as possible. And I think that Squad Busters is awesome. I think for the people that love Squad Busters, it is going to be a great game. I think the big disconnect with Squad Busters in Supercell is that Supercell makes games for hardcore gamers. Clash of Clans players are hardcore gamers. Clash Royale players, hardcore gamers. Brawl Stars players, hardcore gamers. These are hardcore games. Even Heyday players, they are into the game.
I was gonna say Heyday gets
so
vicious, man. I heard they're
vicious.
They're nasty.
It's competitive. They're hardcore gamers.
Yeah.
Squad Busters is a casual game. It is a game made for casual gamers. And that's great and that's cool. But that is why you see so many people hating on the game in the Supercell community. It's because we're not the audience.
Yeah.
Which is sad and unfortunate. We wanted a Supercell game and it wasn't for us. And that's okay. It just
and I haven't also I'm just speaking from like what I see in my little zeitgeist, in my little corner, right, of the internet, to your point as well. And maybe that's exactly it. Maybe the people that I'm seeing, the people that I'm hearing from are the more hardcore that are not the audience necessarily for the game. I do have to give a massive shout out to Adrian, who's one of the community managers along with Paula on the game. I worked with Adrian for years at AMG, so I am thrilled to see him on the team because he is an all-star, you know, like not saying that they were like done without him or anything like that, but he's a massive addition. So I'm really, really, really thrilled, especially Adrian, if you're watching this video, man, congrats, because that's a really cool trajectory from being a creator to managing a community at Supercell, you know?
Well, and also the team itself has some of the greatest minds at Supercell on the team. This is a very dedicated team who really believes in the game and wants to make it the best game that it can possibly be. And I think that's great. And I think that they deserve that that breathing room of people just, rather than people just hating on the game, like, cool, just move on. Let other people play the game that you know, if you don't like Squad Busters, like, stop talking about it. You know what I mean? Like, just move on. It's fine, whatever. The game deserves its own audience, and even if I don't play it, if that's not my audience, it's fine. Right from the beginning, when Squad Busters released, I said, I don't think I'm going to release content on it long term. I made one quick series on it, and I told people I was going to do it no matter what, and I did it, and then I stopped playing it. As soon as I recorded my last clip, I stopped playing it, because it's not for me, and that's okay. Supercell released Moko, and that is for me. So I'll play that
There we
instead,
go.
and that's just fine.
Yeah. In a way, like, I would say it's overshadowing to have Boat Game and Moko and all this hype around them, but at the same time, maybe it gives them a little respite too, of just like, okay, let's focus on our community that we do have, focus on, you know, the future. Echo, what do you think of Squad Busters? What's your assessment of the game and, you know, the viability of it long term?
Sure. To me, it feels like more of a party game, which is, sorry about my dog in the background, which is a bit of that.
I love Squad Busters.
Dog's got to bark, man.
Dog's got to bark. Someone's walking by. But yeah, I think it's a party game, and I think that that's fun. I remember when it was out or when it was launching and you know, kind of like the big new hype, I would watch Chiscool. He was one of the leading creators for it, and it kind of felt like you were in a casino with all the sounds and all the colors, and it just seemed very much luring you into that casino vibe. Not that it was asking you to spend in that kind of casino way, but just like the excitement that went on, and it just felt like that to me. That being said, I did play a bit when it came out. I probably got 20 hours inside of the game, lost my own interest as well. It was very same game mode all the time with different modifiers that would come through. Very well could have changed since then. I haven't picked it up and tried it again. I never thought it was a bad game. I just didn't think it was going to be massive. I didn't think it was going to be this huge deal. And I think a lot of people that are waiting for the next Supercell game have extremely high expectations, partially because Supercell has high expectations of themselves, and everyone's comparing the next game to Brawl Stars, Clash of Clans, and Clash Royale. Like, that's some of the best mobile games of all time are from Supercell, and it's hard to live up to those. So I'll tell you, if another company put out Squad Busters, it would have gotten a lot less criticism because it wasn't put out by Supercell. I still think it's a really good game. I think it's good for some casual fun. I don't think it's going anywhere either. I think it'll be around for a while.
If it's a casual game, then maybe, I mean, what do I know about the inner workings of Supercell? But maybe it could very easily be a game that is a long-term, you know, maybe not for 1 billion players, but maybe they do have like a pretty dedicated community like a Heyday or something like that they can, you know, foster and nurture over time, and maybe it does become a long-term success. Kind of like, I remember the first few years I played Clash of Clans, I was like, Heyday, they still have that game operating, ha ha ha. And then the joke is on me because you look at the revenue numbers and the player base and all that, and you're like, oh, I can see why, you know? So who knows? Maybe there is a space for that. Guys, we've talked about a lot here. You guys have been super, super generous. Thank you for coming on and being a guest here, Kairos. Do either of you guys have any final thoughts before we let you go? Kairos, what are you up to? Like, what is your content strategy, I guess, in terms of Brawl Stars and Moko and your plans for the future? Are you taking it kind of day by day, or do you have a robust game plan for the future?
Yeah, so for me, I really like Moko a lot. I want to create content on my main channel with Moko and Brawl Stars along side by side. I think that is the move for me, simply because I just like the game so much. My Moko content is not doing as well as my Brawl Stars content, and that is completely to be expected. I'm okay with that. I like the game, and so I'm going to create content on it. Nobody's paying me to do it. In fact, I'm probably losing money on a lot of my videos because of how much money it costs me to pay my editor and my graphic artist. And also the opportunity costs. If I make a Moko video, that's time that I spent doing that I could have made a Brawl Stars video. I lose money making Moko content, but I believe in the game and I like it and I'm having fun with it. So that's what I'm planning on doing. And I think that my big thing that I just want to say to people is that there's so many awesome games out there. If you don't like any one particular game, just go play something else. Like, it's okay. Echo and I have talked up the wazoo about Moko and how much we love it. If you download it and you play it and you don't like it for some reason, that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with us. We just might like playing different games, and that's totally fine. I don't like playing Minecraft. I don't like playing Fortnite, but clearly I'm wrong. Like, clearly they're good games.
No, you're right. Totally you're right, Kairos.
That's right. My games are the best games. So I don't know.
Or maybe
I think
clearly you're old. I don't know. I don't know which one.
Yeah. So that's just my big thing, is that if you're hearing what we're saying and you disagree with what we're saying, that's so okay, and that should be celebrated, and you should play the games that bring you happiness and that you enjoy playing, because we only have so much time, you know? So anyway, that's my spiel.
Good closing thoughts, and wish you the best. Obviously, covering. We'll be tuning in for sure to watch your Moko videos. Echo, what about you, man? What are your plans here? You talked about your love for Moko, your love for R.I.S E, or maybe potential love for R.I.S E. What's your game plan right now? You have like 15 YouTube channels. What are you gonna do when it comes to
covering it all?
Game?
Every game.
First of all, I feel so good after listening to that positivity right there out of you, Kairos. I literally feel warm in my chest from your end comment there. First of all, great to have you on, man. I don't know that we've ever done a video together, so it was really nice to finally be able to get to.
For sure, I know. We chat all the time.
I know.
Like, we're good
Long
friends.
time
I don't know if we have or not. We might have. Anyway.
I don't know. Either way, Moko, my main channel's 9 years old, right? And it's gone through a whole bunch of evolutions. I have too many channels to make a new channel every single time I start a new game. So I'm going to be having a pretty big Supercell base there, people that are there for Clash of Clans and some for Clash Royale. I'm going to do Moko there. Kind of like Kairos said, I'm not sure how it's going to perform yet. I don't know what's going to go on with it, but it's a game that I'm going to be playing and that I think others should play as well, because I think it's a great game. So I'm going to just do what I do, and that's where I'm going to do it. You know, as a content creator, we always think, or at least I always think, you know, okay, I could do top 10s here, I could do Diablo here, Raid here, I can do vlogs here, and I'll just do a Moko channel here. But it just becomes too much, and it's not able to be sustained. So at some point, you have to decide, okay, this is going to live on an existing channel. I've made that decision, and we'll see how it goes.
Fantastic. Wish you both obviously the best with it. I'll have a link to all of Echo's 15 channels as well as Kairos's, and you guys can follow them for the Moko content and whatever of these games actually do get released. Be interesting to see if these guys cover them as well. Me, TBD, I'll probably just continue to talk to you guys about games versus playing them and covering them here. So we will see. But again, guys, check out all of these awesome YouTube channels. You'll learn so much and have a lot of fun in the meanwhile. And let us know what you think of all these games: R.I.S.E, Boat Game, Moko, Squad Busters, and Clash Mini in Clash Royale. What are you excited about? What are you not excited about? Want to hear from you guys in the comments below. Thank you for watching. And as always, take care, guys.